We're following several breaking news stories now at 5. A mysterious paralyzing illness affecting children now in Florida. What all parents need to know.
Local police say they are one step closer to ending a deadly family feud that's been holding a neighborhood hostage for years. How the community is now banding together to stop the violence.
A warning from the CDC after a salmonella outbreak spreads to Florida. Why antibiotics are no match for a potentially deadly foodborne illness.
Outrage tonight after video shows a woman putting a 2-year-old boy on a stranger's doorstep in Texas. The news starts right now.
Now on CBS 12 News at 5.
It's nerve-wracking, it's stressful. Like, she doesn't understand that she can't get up out of bed and do things for herself.
Tonight at 5, parents on edge as a growing number of children across the country, including here in Florida, are coming down with a rare polio-like illness. It causes paralysis, has no cure, and doctors don't know where it's coming from. Tonight, health officials are confirming a new case in Florida.
They are indeed, and tonight CBS 12's Michael Butchner live in West Palm Beach with what parents really need to know about this. Michael?
I can tell you, we went to visit a pediatrician today to talk to her all about this. She says this is very rare. That's the good news in all this. You'll hear the statistic in our story, but she wants parents to be informed.
Here to help you. Oh, okay. Back on mommy's lap for a minute.
4-year-old Ryder is a fighter.
Everything can happen to your child. It's just a when and if kind of thing. You just have to be prepared.
He survived open heart surgery when he was just 6 months old. Today, he's a rambunctious kid, especially for the camera.
It feels like it's going like this.
His mother, Heather Reed, does not take chances, and that's why acute flaccid myelitis worries her.
Anytime he gets a cough, there's something in the back of my mind. I get a little scared when anything happens.
The rare polio-like illness causes paralysis, and it's affecting kids across the country, including a child in Jacksonville just diagnosed. The CDC reports 62 confirmed cases in 2018 and dozens more under investigation.
So we think it's a rare complication of a viral infection, of a common virus.
Pediatrician Selena Moore says the onset is sudden. The CDC says the cause of most cases remains a mystery.
What we can't see, or what we don't know, is this the virus itself that's causing this, or is there something in their body of the child that's triggering it?
Even with an increase in cases since 2014, the CDC says AFM remains a very rare condition, with less than 1 in a million diagnosed each year in the United States.
Just be aware of it, but please don't be freaked out. It's very rare, and we just want to raise awareness of it.
I think the hardest thing as a parent is not knowing.
Yeah, the doctor telling me parents calling her office concerned about this. Her message, though, of course, if you or your children or you suspect any symptoms, seek immediate medical attention. And, of course, remember good hygiene and to wash your hands. For Number 11 West Palm Beach, Michael Butchner, CBS 12 News.
And Michael, 62 cases so far confirmed in 22 states in recent weeks. 90% of those affected are children. Officials began tracking the disease back in 2014. Now, the CDC isn't sure why, but outbreaks appear to follow an every other year pattern.
Right now, a community bands together against a family feud that has left 5 dead and a baby injured. This video of a fight after an arrest, captured only by CBS 12 News, has gone viral with more than 2,000 shares on our Facebook page. In less than 2 hours, Delray Beach Police will hold a forum to talk to families about the rash of shootings in their neighborhoods where the victims have included small children. CBS 12's Yaremi Farinas joins us live from Pompey Park in Delray Beach with why this is happening now. Yaremi?
Liz, Delray Beach Police say they want to thank the community for helping them make the last 2 arrests. It's something they haven't seen in a long time.
Your heart kind of sinks when you hear that there's been somebody hit, and then you get there and you find a 5-year-old or a 10-year-old. It's sickening.
Delray Beach Captain John Crane Baker says he's fed up seeing innocent children injured in shootings involving 2 local groups.
So there have been a lot of drive-by shootings up here at the corner That location actually has had multiple children get hit.
The most recent drive-by shooting injured a baby who was near SD Spady Elementary.
Any parent would be upset that their kids are being placed into a situation like that they have no control over.
Captain Crane Baker says community cooperation helped them arrest these two men.
We got some assistance from the community, and that's what we've been begging for.
He says for years now, the challenges in these cases have been getting victims to press charges, testify, and help take the case through the justice system.
Well, it's not that easy when a victim doesn't want to prosecute.
Getting neighbors to speak up and trust the police has also been difficult, but he says he's noticing some change in the most recent arrests.
It gives you that feeling of hope that maybe that first domino just fell, that we'll now get some more assistance from the community.
Now, the community forum is tonight at 7 p.m. here at the community center at Pompey Park. But first, coming up on CBS 12 News at 6, we'll look at what officers and neighbors hope to accomplish. For now, we're live in Delray Beach. I'm Yaremi Farinas, CBS 12 News.
Breaking news right now out of Miami. A daughter behind bars accused of murdering her own mother, then burning her remains. Police called to a home in southwest Miami-Dade when family members tell them they got concerned. Now, they hadn't heard from 70-year-old Hilda Gonzalez. Now, once there, police found charred clothing in the yard and what appears to be bones in the trash. Neighbors say the victim lived in the home with her daughter and her boyfriend, Yancel Castillo, who are now both under arrest. Police say the mother was suffocated after an argument over Castillo's brother, who also lived in the home. Now at 5, a beautiful night ahead, but we're already tracking some cool changes on the way for the weekend. So let's go ahead and get right over to Chief Meteorologist Erin Christensen, tracking the very latest. Good afternoon, Erin.
Hey, Paul. Yeah, here's the deal. We've got two cold fronts moving through over the next 4 days, and they both kind of will bring us something a little bit different. The first, I will tell you, is showing signs of weakening, and it's slowing down. So the impact is going to be put off until really the Saturday into Sunday timeframe. Although the front itself moves through Friday and Saturday, we're going to notice that increase in those winds becoming easterly over the course of the couple of days, but also that slight increase in our chance for rain. The cooler of the two fronts will move in Sunday night through Monday. Now, this one will drop our temperatures by a good 5 to 7 degrees across South Florida. We're tracking day by day what these two fronts will bring us. That's coming up in your full forecast.
And you can track weather with our CBS 12 News weather app. It's a great tool to have. It'll let you know when severe weather is just 5 miles away.
Red tide continues plaguing the Treasure Coast. Dead fish and eels washed ashore on JC Beach today. While all beaches in Vero remain closed, businesses nearby are still open. CBS 12's Kristen Chapman is live at Seaside Grill with that story. Kristen?
Liz, now this drop in business is actually staggering. The only tells me he's seen a 90% decrease in his business. Now, if you walk this way, you could see just how close this restaurant is to the beach. Now, fortunately, the owner here is optimistic that the red tide will drift away.
It's been slow business. The red tide, it hit us on Monday morning.
Dan Columber has been in business for 27 years. He owns the JC Park Seaside Grill overlooking the beach.
The weekend was very busy. The beach was active.
But that all changed Monday when the red tide closed down the beach, washing ashore dead fish and eels and squashing business.
It was slow business Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Columber says he's only doing 10% what he typically does in a day.
Today's trying to pick up a little bit more.
And even though the beaches remain closed, he says the air quality has improved. So as the red tide drifts north, customers drift back.
It's not bad here, so hopefully they'll have the beach open in a couple days.
Even though the beaches are closed, the boardwalk here is still open. The city of Vero Beach says that they will have crews out here on the beach every single day removing the dead fish until the red tide is gone. Reporting live in Vero Beach, Kristen Chapman, CBS 12 News.
Right now, red tide is almost clear down the Palm Beach County coastline. According to Florida's Fish and Wildlife Interactive map, only Phil Foster Park and Gumbo Limbo Nature Center have low levels, while all other beaches have very low to no presence of the toxic algae. New developments in the search for the teen at the center of a nationwide Amber Alert. We've learned 13-year-old Jamie Kloss from Wisconsin was home when her parents were shot to death, but police say no gun was found. Jamie hasn't been seen since Monday when police found her parents' bodies. So far, there have been hundreds of tips, but no solid leads.
Breaking news right now, the Treasury Secretary is backing out of a conference in Saudi Arabia amidst growing controversy over the apparent murder of a Washington Post journalist. Now, he made the decision after being briefed by President Trump on Secretary of State Mike Pompeo's visit to the region to discuss the Khashoggi case. The Washington Post contributor walked into the consulate in Istanbul, Turkey, more than 2 weeks ago, but never apparently came out. The Secretary of State Mike Pompeo met with President Trump in the Oval Office after a trip to Saudi Arabia, all to discuss the disappearance of Washington Post contributor Jamal Khashoggi.
We made clear to them that we take this matter with respect to Mr. Khashoggi very seriously.
Wednesday, President Trump said one of his first questions will be whether Turkey is willing to hand over a recording that Turkish media reports proves Jamal Khashoggi was murdered and dismembered soon after entering the Saudi consulate in Istanbul on October 2nd.
I'm not sure yet that it exists, probably does, possibly does.
Saudi Arabia and Turkey have said they will wrap up their own investigations into Khashoggi's disappearance soon.
At which point we can make decisions about how or if the United States should respond to the incident surrounding Mr. Khashoggi.
Khashoggi had become an outspoken critic of the Saudi government, and freedom of the press was the topic of Khashoggi's last known piece of writing, which was published in the Washington Post this morning. Khashoggi wrote, quote, "Arab governments have been given free rein to continue silencing the media at an increasing rate," end quote. He added, quote, "The Arab world is facing its own version of an Iron Curtain, imposed not by external actors, but through domestic forces vying for power," end quote.
It's a chilling reminder to everyone, to the world, that speaking the truth can come at the ultimate price.
Saudi leaders deny any knowledge of what happened to Khashoggi.
And the New York Times reports that American intelligence officials say they have growing evidence that Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman was actually involved, they say, in Khashoggi's disappearance.
Right now, an estimated $47 million worth of drugs seized in South Florida. The U.S. Coast Guard's southeast region offloaded more than 3,500 pounds of cocaine and 50 pounds of marijuana in Miami Beach this week. Crews say they stopped suspected smuggling boats in international waters from September to earlier this month. Viral videos sparking outrage tonight. A doorbell camera captures a woman abandoning a little boy outside a house and then taking off.
And changes in the air, what that means for your weekend weather coming up.
The salmonella scare, the warning from the CDC about an outbreak and what you can do right now to protect yourself from getting sick.
Missing for more than 2 years, a 5-year-old boy found alive in Florida. The clue that helped police finally track him down.
If you see breaking news happen or have a news tip, call the CBS 12 News Breaking News Tip Line at 561-881-0796.
In tonight's Health Alert, a new outbreak of antibiotic-resistant salmonella has sickened 92 people in 9 states. Now, 21 people have been hospitalized. The CDC has not found a common source, they say, but found the outbreak strain in live chickens, raw chicken pet food, and other raw products. The CDC reminds consumers to always handle raw chicken carefully and cook it to 165 degrees. You can see which states are affected. All you need to do is log on to CBS12.com.
It's been 2 years, and a father desperate to find his son finally got his wish. His son just found in Florida. But the story takes a bizarre twist. The boy's own mother is now behind bars, accused of abducting him from his Massachusetts home when he was just 3 years old.
CBS 12's Maxine Bensel live in here in studio tonight with how deputies found this little boy. Maxine, how'd they do it?
Such a bizarre story. Now, thanks to a tip to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, authorities were able to locate 5-year-old Matthew at a home in Orlando and arrest his mother.
This is 40-year-old Christina Hale, accused of kidnapping her son over 2 years ago from Massachusetts. Matthew was just 3 when deputies say Hale took him after his father was granted full custody. Investigators arrested Hale Tuesday at this home in Orange County after they say she was running from police for more than 2 years. Hale's cousin, Warren Hale, says Christina and Matthew were living with him.
Very affectionate, very embracive.
Warren claims Christina never told him Matthew's father had full custody. She told him she moved to Orlando to avoid a bad relationship with the father. Warren said at one point she stayed with her son in Maine at a battered women's shelter.
There were some issues, with the child coming back with bruises on him at times, and she just found it in the best interest to leave.
We're told Matthew, who is now 5 years old, is doing okay.
The Department of Children and Family took custody of him and is going to reunite him with his biological father back in Massachusetts.
Now, Hale is jailed as a fugitive on an out-of-state kidnapping charge. Reporting in the studio, Maxine Bensel, CBS 12 News.
Breaking news right now, police in Lake Worth are investigating a shooting that did send a man to the hospital. Police say the victim was shot in the torso on Kirkwood Road, right off Malaluka Lane. He was taken to the hospital by a friend and is currently in surgery. As of now, police say they do not have a suspect or a motive. Tonight, the Powerball jackpot climbs to $430 million after no one matched all the numbers in last night's drawing. The winning numbers last night are 3, 57, 64, 68, 69, the Powerball 15. 3 people in Florida won $50 grand each. Not bad. The next drawing is this Saturday. Now, if that's not enough money for you, the prize for Friday's Mega Millions jackpot has soared to a record-breaking $970 million. The projected prize would be the second largest payout in U.S. history, lottery history, with a cash lump sum of $513 million.
And in case you were wondering, the 3 of us are all here today bringing you the news because none of us have won.
No.
No winners here.
We'll try again tonight.
But I know you would still be here even if you won that almost $1 billion prize. I know
would keep it a secret. Absolutely.
She'd just have an extra pep in her step.
Exactly. Maybe not do as many newscasts.
Right? How's it looking out there? It's nice today.
Oh, it's a great day.
Yeah.
We do have some changes that we're tracking. Not one, but 2 cold fronts moving through. And the second one is the one that's really going to bring us the significant cool down. So let's break it down for you. Our first front moving through tomorrow through Saturday. Now, this one could enhance our chance for rain just a touch, but keep in mind, even an increase to say 20% is double what we've had as of late. Instead, this is going to bring out some more gusting winds here from the east. You will notice that. Maybe an increase in our cloud cover. Not a whole lot as far as that rain is concerned. Most of the rain is going to stay across the northern part of the state from that system. Now, the second cold front moving through during the Sunday night through Monday time frame. So kind of back-to-back fronts. It might even feel like it's all one big system because the second one will be riding the coattails of the first. This is going to bring us some cooler air. In fact, we're expecting high temperatures to drop anywhere from 5 to 7 degrees as we make our way through the Monday, Tuesday time frame. So I thought I would put all 4 days together and show you the impacts from these 2 cold fronts. And really not a huge impact the first front moving through. That's good news if you don't want a weekend washout. 88 for our Saturday, Sunday down to 86. We do double that chance for rain to 20% by Sunday. Monday, though, still same chance for rain. You're going to notice a big drop off in our temps, or relatively cooler temperatures here. Let's put it that way. 83 degrees for our Monday, 84 on Tuesday. Both those days we will be just slightly below that 85-degree average, and you'll see more cloud cover on Tuesday than you even will on Monday. As far as our moisture tracker is concerned, it does show this front moving through on Friday night right around 7. Dark green, the red area, that's indicating more moisture along that front. Then the second one moving in right through central Florida around Sunday, 9 p.m. overnight into early morning hours, 6 a.m. Monday. We start to see that heavier moisture moving off across South Florida. So it's going to be a quick hitting system. Our hour-by-hour temperatures here through our Sunday morning, we will drop off into the 70s. Fort Pierce, 75 Vero Beach, but upper 70s for West Palm Beach. As we make our way through Sunday afternoon, we do warm back back to the 80s, but look at that, just about 84 degrees for West Palm Beach. The winds are going to pick up as well, anywhere from 16 to 22 mile-per-hour winds here as we make our way through Monday night with this system. So, of course, that does bring back that concern for some rip currents. Here's a look at the 7-day forecast. 88 the next 2 days, down to 86 Sunday, 83 Monday, 84 on Tuesday. And then we do rebound back to 86 Wednesday and 85 Thursday, but that's right around normal for this time of year.
There's no place like home, where Dorothy's iconic ruby slippers will go on display.
And questions about the safety of those popular baby boxes you see there.
We use them for absolutely everything. In today's Consumer Report, we share tips to make sure you're never stuck with a dead phone and break down which battery stands out among the competition.
It is a curse of modern life. We're constantly on our phones, which means the battery runs down and sometimes dies inevitably when we need it the most. Luckily, Consumer Reports tests dozens of smartphones each year.
CBS 12's Kristen Chapman reveals some simple tricks to keep your phone battery lasting as long as possible.
Consumer Reports tech editor Bree Fowler cares about smartphones even when she's not at work.
I'm a mom, I have kids, and they want to play games, they want to watch YouTube. That'll suck your battery dry faster than you would think.
Consumer Reports says the bottom line is phones do so much more than they used to. And while batteries also last longer, things like streaming video games and apps that frequently refresh can eat up battery life.
If you realize that you're running low on battery, you can switch to low power mode.
And in extreme cases, you can turn on airplane mode, but you'll lose cell service. If your phone doesn't have a low power mode, try these tips. Lower your screen brightness or set it to auto so your phone adjusts to lighting conditions. Set the screen to go to sleep after 15 or 30 seconds of inactivity. Reduce how frequently your phone looks for new emails. But if you're still constantly running for your charger, you may want to consider getting your battery replaced or even getting a new phone. Consumer Reports says you may be impressed by some recent improvements.
They've gotten a lot bigger, which gives phone makers a lot more space to put bigger batteries.
And bigger batteries generally mean better battery life.
Consumer Reports testing shows Samsung's Galaxy phones tend to have some of the longest battery lives, and while iPhones, of course, are popular with consumers, the battery tests haven't done as well. Reporting from the studio, Kristen Chapman, CBS 12 News.
I think we can agree with that about the batteries, right? All right, the former head of the USA Gymnastics arrested. How authorities say he tried to cover up a massive number of sexual assaults.
And a great night for checking out the moon and Mars together. Shortly after sunset, I'll have a look at the forecast coming up.
Plus, that salmonella outbreak we told you about earlier has the CDC making a strange request this year for Halloween, what the organization is telling you not to do.
CBS 12 News at 5:30 starts now with breaking news.
Breaking news in the aftermath of Hurricane Michael, the powerful Category 4 storm that left parts of the Panhandle in ruins. Governor Rick Scott has just signed an executive order easing restrictions on vote-by-mail ballots for 8 counties ravaged by the storm. The executive order will also allow the counties to continue early voting through Election Day. Meanwhile, as families sift through the rubble left by Hurricane Michael, many are realizing the toll the storm is taking, not only on them, but on their pets as well.
Yeah, the concern about those animals displaced by the storm and then also in the shelters ramped up in Pensacola today. And Ashley Ruiz from our sister station, WEAR, tells us why.
Stacks and rows of crates lined up on an airport runway, each with the precious cargo of a frightened canine. But this airlift is a mercy mission of sorts, one that will take these creatures far away in search of their forever home.
The intent of our program was to empty the shelters in, like Bay County. We did Bay County, Port St. Joe, clear those shelters out, clear their Humane Society areas out, so they have space for impacted citizens who need somewhere to temporarily keep their animals until they can get them back after they get back on their feet or figure out what they're going to do.
Cleanup and rebuilding efforts will take time. This project is a part of that effort, freeing up the shelters in the impacted community to provide temporary refuge to dogs that already have a home.
There are so many people now that are without homes that have been impacted in one way or another by Michael that we don't want any family to have to relinquish their pet.
So while they work to recover, owners won't have to worry about the safety of their furry friends.
Pumpkin spice clear.
Their adoptable counterparts in these cages are in turn getting their own chance with a trip to sunny San Diego.
A shelter is a great stopping point along the way, that transition. So being able to give these dogs a new audience, a new group of people that could potentially give them that home is amazing.
Like the plane mail board, they too received some pre-flight checks.
They're cleared by a vet here, and they're given a health certificate so that they can travel and make sure that they have all of their shots and vaccines. And then we provide some extra funding to our partners so that they can do any type of spay-neuter or support adoption events for them in their communities.
When the process is repeated on Friday with cats and dogs, over 200 animals will have made the trip for a new leash on life. Ashley Ruiz, Channel 3 News.
Around 150 cats and several dogs will be transported to Seattle on Friday. The project is a joint effort of Escambia County Animal Services, Friends of the Escambia County Animal Shelter, and the Humane Society of the United States.
Be great to see all of them get home. All right, a live look right now over West Palm Beach tonight. Another beautiful night out there, but the question, yeah, the answer too. We're tracking some changes in store for the weekend, so let's get right to Chief Meteorologist Erin Christensen now with when we're going to feel some cooler changes. Any idea, Erin?
Oh, absolutely. You know, we have two cold fronts moving through. The first is weaker than the second one. So the first one isn't going to have a huge impact on us, but we tell you about it anyways. It is going to be moving through during the Friday, Saturday time frame. It's going to bring back some gusty easterly winds. The bulk of the rain is going to stay to our north, and the cool down very minimal from that system. But the second one now that kind of rides the coattails of the first, so it might seem like it's all one big system. This is going to move through during the Sunday night, Monday time frame, and it is going to drop our high temperatures a good 5 to 7 degrees across South Florida. Now coming up, I'm going to give you the breakdown each day, these two cold fronts during the 4-day time frame, and let you know exactly what that means for your weekend weather.
Across America, the former head of USA Gymnastics is under arrest. Steve Penny is accused of tampering with documents linked to the Larry Nassar sexual abuse case. Officials say he removed reports of abuse from the Caroli Ranch training facility in Texas. He was arrested by U.S. Marshals in southeastern Tennessee and is now awaiting extradition to Texas. If convicted, he could face up to 10 years in prison. Experts are warning parents against using cardboard baby boxes as an alternative to cribs and bassinets, raising doubts about safety. The boxes have gained popularity because of their availability to low-income families. Also, some doctors claim the design could lower infant mortality rates. A letter published by the British Medical Journal disputes those claims. Experts say some boxes may potentially be flammable and do not allow parents to easily observe children sleeping. The head of Georgia's election system, who is also running for governor, is being accused of voter suppression. Republican Brian Kemp is in a race against Democrat Stacey Abrams. She is hoping to become the first African-American female governor in Georgia. Abrams is accusing Kemp of using the exact match law to put the registration of more than 50,000 voters, mainly black, on hold.
And speaking of elections here on CBS 12 News, we want to take you beyond the podium on our big Florida races, the Senate and gubernatorial races, the closely watched races that could have a national impact. Today, the latest from the campaign trail.
In the Senate race, a new Tampa Bay Times poll shows more than 200 Florida insiders overwhelmingly think Hurricane Michael helped Governor Scott's campaign. The governor, meantime, off the trail today, issuing an executive order. It extends midterm election voting options for people impacted by Hurricane Michael. Governor Scott's order applies to 8 counties impacted by the hurricane. Many of those affected are Republican voters. His opponent, Senator Bill Nelson, on his Twitter feed today, he posted a video saying, quote, "You can't trust Rick Scott." Nelson claiming Governor Scott stuffs his pockets with other people's money. Now on the gubernatorial campaign, Democrat Andrew Gillum on Twitter, never mentioning his opponent Ron DeSantis by name, but tweets say he's ready to get back out on the campaign trail. He also tweets how all Floridians should have access to health care, that he wants to expand Medicare, while DeSantis has said he does not. Meantime, billionaire philanthropist turned political activist Tom Steyer is pulling out all the stops for Gillum. He's donated $2 million to his campaign. That's on top of the $5 million given by an organization founded by Steyer. All of this while on his Twitter page, Congressman DeSantis once again taking on Gillum. One of his biggest claims that Gillum ignored pleas from Tallahassee police, where Gillum is now mayor. And now DeSantis claims the murder rate there has shot up more than 80%. He also claims Gillum will never say he opposes tax increases.
And 19 days to go until Election Day. And make sure to watch CBS 12 News, of course, for our congressional debate for District 18 between Lauren Bear and Congressman Brian Mast. Of course, it's going to be moderated by our anchor, Liz Carantes, and it airs this Saturday at 7 p.m.
Twitter is releasing data it found going back to 2016, linked to accounts foreign agents used to try and influence the U.S. elections. The social media site is releasing the actual tweets, images, and video from more than 4,600 accounts affiliated with Russian and Iranian disinformation campaigns.
The ruby red slippers made famous by The Wizard of Oz. Well, guess what? They finally have found a home, and it's the viral video that will make you shake your head. Yeah, a different story here. A Texas woman leaves her friend's toddler on a stranger's porch, then takes off.
Plus, who Facebook says was behind its massive hack attack impacting 30 million users. That's next. Trending now, many of you are still talking about this video of the fight that broke out yesterday in Delray Beach. The brawl followed the arrest of shooting suspect Lenantris Durham at a home off Southwest 13th Avenue. This exclusive footage has been shared by you more than 2,000 times on Facebook alone. Abandoned at the doorstep, this Ring video shows a woman leaving a toddler at a front door and running off. Turns out the woman is a friend of the child's mother and was dropping him off, but she got the address wrong. The boy's father, who lives in the house next door, says he doesn't buy her story. The woman in the video could face child abandonment charges. And the award for Best Halloween Spirit today goes to the Fulshear, Texas Police Department. Officers posted this video to their Facebook page, which shows a spider perfectly positioned on the windshield of a patrol car. See that?
Getting scared.
The When Spiders Attack video was created to playfully scare the clerk who reviews incident videos. For those and more trending stories, just head to the CBS 12 Facebook page.
All right, in tonight's Consumer Watch, Facebook says spammers and not a nation state were behind the recent hack of 30 million users. The Wall Street Journal spoke to people familiar with the investigation, and they say the group was looking to make money through deceptive advertising. Facebook now cooperating with the FBI in a criminal probe. Well, there is no place like home, is there? And home for Dorothy's iconic ruby red slippers will be back in our nation's capital. Judy Garland's iconic ruby red slippers that she wore in the 1939 film The Wizard of Oz, there they are, will go on display at the Smithsonian's National Museum of American History beginning this Friday. And get this, for just a few months, the iconic red shoes will be next to the Scarecrow's hat worn by actor Ray Bolger in the classic film. Brings back great memories. All right, an urgent plea from the CDC, this strange warning about chickens and Halloween and why it could save your life.
And mostly clear skies tonight for viewing the moon and Mars pairing. And I'll let you know when those skies won't be so clear anymore. Coming up.
And a giant nose is missing in Portland after someone picked it off a porch. Now at 5:30, 19 days before the midterm elections, President Trump is returning to a central tenet of his campaign for president.
And as national correspondent Christine Frazao shows us, he's using a caravan of migrants headed to the U.S. to bring immigration issues back into the spotlight.
This large group of Guatemalan immigrants headed to the United States, with other groups following suit, like these Honduran migrants making their way through El Salvador. Video like this firing up the White House, with President Trump sending off a series of tweets accusing the Democrats of wanting open borders, threatening to call up the U.S. military to close our southern border, even threatening the not yet signed trade deal he made with Mexico and Canada, His supporters calling it necessary.
Many of the things that the president was elected to do are based on the concept of national sovereignty, whether it's crushing ISIS, whether it's building the border wall. This is just part of that.
But with stories of Washington Post columnist Jamal Khashoggi dominating the headlines, some critics say President Trump is using this as a diversion tactic, returning to what he and many Republicans see as a winning issue: immigration.
I think it's a little bit of a distraction towards the midterms, sort of gearing up people to remind them that he won on immigration and that he's strong on the borders.
Immigration attorney Alan Orr says the law states that anyone who arrives at the border should be able to make their case as to why they should get in, especially now with low unemployment and so many jobs that need filling.
So why don't we see if these immigrants have any merit to be here before we decide that they don't get to come as a class, rather than saying we're going to send troops down to basically send them back to what may be certain death.
With new signs, the number of migrants entering the United States is picking up again, and emboldened President Trump making clear his key campaign issue is still his top priority. In Washington, I'm Christine Frizzell reporting.
All right, take a look at this. Police in Portland, Oregon are sniffing around for clues after someone stole a 50-pound nose from a family's porch. It may seem like a laughing matter, but the family says it's not. They've put signs up around the neighborhood in an attempt to figure out who took this unique Halloween decoration.
That is some big nose. I've never seen a 50-pound nose before. Have you?
That's what makes it so unique.
Right, and
special.
yesterday we were talking about how people really get into their Halloween, what you put outside, decorations.
Yeah.
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 Mm.
No huge nose on your
No
doorstep?
huge noses. All I have is lots of chocolate, which is already inside the house. The lights are off, the door is locked, and I'm eating it by myself.
That's one way to celebrate Halloween, I suppose. We have two cold fronts we're tracking for you. The first is weakening, and it's going to move through tomorrow during Saturday. Don't expect for windshield wiper kind of a workout here. This system isn't going to bring us a tremendous increase in our chance for rain, just a tiny uptick. We are going to notice those winds picking up, though, from the east, and most of the rain is going to stay across the northern part of the state from that first system. Now, the second cold front, which is going to move in right on the coattails of the first, so it might feel as though it's all one big cold front moving through, that will happen Sunday night into Monday, and this one will bring us some cooler air. Here's how it all breaks down for you. Saturday, very slim chance for rain, 88 degrees. Sunday, 20% chance for rain, so we do double that, but still quite low for us, 86 degrees for a high. Then Monday, staying at that same 20% chance for rain, but look at our high. It drops off to 83 degrees. That puts us 2 below average. We will be 1 degree below the norm on Tuesday with a high of 84, and we are expecting mostly cloudy skies to help bring on that cooling as opposed to the rain evaporating and cooling the air. Not a big rain maker here, but our moisture tracker does show where it's going to be, that moisture right along that front. Here's the one moving through Friday night. The bright green and the red, that's showing the air that has more water vapor concentration, better chance for bringing us some rain. Then we see that second front right there moving through Sunday night around 9 to 10 o'clock. That continues through early morning hours on Monday with a heavier rain and moisture just south of West Palm Beach. Now, our hour-by-hour temperatures here as far as that cooling trend, well, we'll be in the 70s here by Sunday morning. Sunday afternoon, our highs making it into just the low 80s. Here's a look at the 7-day forecast for you now. Yes, we are going to drop off to the low 80s by Tuesday, Monday and Tuesday, and then back to 86 come Wednesday.
Tourism threat. Toxic red tide driving people away from our beaches. Tonight, the couple that has been visiting Florida for 4 decades and have never seen it this bad.
Families on edge, a rare polio-like illness paralyzing children is spreading across the country and right here in Florida. Tonight, one doctor has the news parents need to know.
And here's a look at our SkyTeam 12 drone shot of the day. This video is from Du Bois Park. The CBS 12 SkyTeam 12 drone means new ways to bring you news. CBS 12, the one to turn to. The commander of U.S. forces in Afghanistan survives a deadly attack, and a German woman faces terrorism charges after she married an Islamic State fighter. We continue to cover the war on terror from our Worldwide Terrorism Alert Desk.
From the Terrorism Alert Desk in Washington, I'm Lindsay Mastis. The commander of U.S. forces in Afghanistan surviving a deadly attack. The Taliban is claiming responsibility for the attack that wounded 2 Americans and killed the police chief of Kandahar, General Abdul Razik, one of Afghanistan's most powerful security officials. The shooter was reportedly killed by the U.S. military. A German woman is now facing terrorism charges as she attempted to return to the country after marrying an Islamic State fighter. Prosecutors say that she and her husband lived in an Iraqi home seized by ISIS. Her husband was killed 3 years ago. From the Terrorism Alert Desk in Washington, I'm Lindsay Mastis.
Coming up at 6 tonight, beaches closed on the Treasure Coast because of red tide. The question, will it clear up soon? Plus, what's lurking in your luggage is one alarming item the TSA found hundreds of that shouldn't have been there to begin with.
Mysterious disease, a polio-like illness now impacting children in 22 states. What doctors want every parent to know.
And I'm tracking not one, but 2 cold fronts moving through. What that means for your weekend, coming up.
Now at 6, medical mystery, a health alert for parents about a rare illness sweeping the nation, paralyzing children. Tonight, the facts about AFM and what doctors want parents to know.
5 dead, 50 shootings, even a baby injured. How a local community is taking a stand against the family feud that continues to grow even larger.
And red tide takeover, the deadly toxin turning away tourists, where it's spreading now.
Now on CBS 12 News at 6.
Tonight, a disease that mimics polio attacking children has doctors and health officials baffled.
It is a very serious condition, and it's already been diagnosed in 1 Florida child and dozens of others nationwide. CBS 12's Michael Butchner live in West Palm Beach tonight with what you parents out there need to know.
Yeah, the CDC telling us that this is hitting young children. We spoke with a pediatrician today all about this. She told me parents should not panic, but instead be informed. What are you looking for?
Again, sudden onset of paralysis.
Boca Raton pediatrician Selena Moore says parents are calling her office, asking about AFM or acute flaccid myelitis.
So it's an acute onset of loss of use of the muscles in a limb or in your face, or even dangerously the respiratory muscles.
It's a fast-acting condition that attacks someone's nervous system and can even cause paralysis. How rare is this?
Very rare. So right now it's about 1 in a million.
The polio-like illness is affecting kids across the country, including a child just diagnosed in Jacksonville. The CDC told CBS 12 News late this afternoon that so far this year, it's confirmed 62 cases of sudden onset AFM in 22 states. Of those cases, 90% are in kids 18 and younger. And get this, the average age is just 4 years old.
I think the hardest thing as a parent is not knowing.
It's a frightening thought for Heather Reed.
Everything can happen to your child. It's just a when and if kind of thing.
Her 4-year-old son, Ryder, survived open heart surgery when he was just 6 months old. Today, he's thankfully full of life. His mother and other parents now learning about the dangers of AFM.
It probably concerns me more with his condition. I mean, he's got a good bill of health now, but at the same time, you just never know what kids are going to get.
Yeah, of course, the doctor's saying if you see any of these symptoms in any of your children or yourself, of course, seek medical attention right away. The message from her, wash your hands. For now, we're live in West Palm Beach, Michael Butchner, CBS 12 News.
62 cases have been confirmed in 22 states in recent weeks alone. 90% of those affected are children. Officials began tracking the disease in 2014. The CDC isn't sure why, but outbreaks appear to follow an every other year pattern.
Breaking news right now, bullets and bloodshed rocking a local city. And right now, Palm Beach County's latest shooting victim is in surgery. Deputies telling us this shooting happened this afternoon on Kirkwood Road in Lake Worth. A man shot in the torso and his friend rushing him to the hospital. No word right now on that man's condition or the person who shot him. Now, as soon as we get any new information, and we're working to get that right now, we will update you on our CBS 12 News app.
Right now, a 12-year-old girl is missing, possibly in danger. Take a look at this picture. It's Gianna Belmonte. The Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office says she was last seen on Oak Terrace Drive in Green Acres around 4 p.m. yesterday. She is now considered missing and possibly endangered. We have her full description and a phone number to call if you spot her. It's posted on CBS12.com. You can also share her picture on our CBS 12 Facebook page. Breaking now, deputies are investigating a robbery at a home in Boca Raton. This is new video of the scene on Southwest 18th Street just into our newsroom. PBSO has their helicopter up and a K-9 on the ground searching and investigating. We'll keep you updated during this newscast.
An all-out brawl after another shooting in a local city tied to violence between just two families. And now the community in Delray Beach is fed up and they are speaking out.
Tonight, Delray Beach police will meet with neighbors who worry their families might get caught in the crossfire. CBS 12's Yaremi Farinas joins us live from Pompey Park, where tonight's community conversation is taking place. Yaremi?
Liz, that community meeting starts in less than an hour here at the community center in Pompey Park. Now, the goal is to hear from those who are stuck in the middle of this violence just because of where they live or work.
The issues that I see here in Delray is just the knucklehead teenagers or young men who are off the chain.
Daryl Jones is a longtime resident of Northwest Delray Beach. He's been living here for 30 years and is currently a lead lifeguard at Pompey Park. Jones says while there's a lot of good people in his community, there's a small fraction of the population causing unnecessary violence.
Maybe the police or the community not putting their foot down 5 or 10 years ago when this feud first started. So why let this continue to go on?
Delray Beach Police Captain John Crane Baker will be speaking at tonight's community forum, something he says they did a few years ago and saw some results.
For a while, this violence subsided, and we're hoping that that happens tonight.
Captain Crane Baker says it's obvious people are afraid of the two groups connected to at least 50 shootings, including 5 homicides.
I think they're terrified. They've told us that. They've expressed their concerns.
He says the key to solving these cases is community cooperation.
They have to be courageous in providing that information to us, and they have to have faith in us.
Faith they will make arrests and end the violence.
Let's do that and stop all the foolishness.
Now you can see behind me they're setting up the PowerPoint presentation, and officers should be arriving shortly. In addition, they'll also have community activists who will be speaking here to the families who attend. For now, we're live in Delray Beach. I'm Yaremi Farinas, CBS 12 News.
Turning now to weather. Well, it may be fall, but you wouldn't know it in some parts of Florida, right? We're seeing some sizzling temperatures again, but there is some relief, thank goodness, right on the way.
Let's get right over to Chief Meteorologist Erin Christensen. Erin?
Yeah, we're going to have to wait just a few more days for that cool down, but we have not one, but 2 cold fronts that we are tracking that are going to swing through Florida. The first, a little weaker than we initially anticipated and drier. It's not going to bring us a whole lot of rain, but it is going to bring us some gusting winds moving in from the east during the Saturday, Sunday time frame. The bulk of the rain from this is going to stay across the northern part of the state. Now, the second cold front, kind of riding the coattails of the first, it'll feel like it's all one big system here. That moves in Sunday night into Monday. Now, this one will drop our high temperatures across South Florida by a good 5 to 7 degrees. We're tracking both these fronts in 4 days. I'll give you the day-by-day breakdown of what we're expecting coming right up.
And now to the red tide takeover. Dead fish and eels continue to pile up on Treasure Coast beaches. At the same time, though, red tide conditions are slowly easing.
CBS 12's Kristen Chapman reports the air quality may be a little better, though she met some tourists who still need to change their beach plans.
You guys, I don't need these masks to breathe. I need them for the smell. That's because these piles of dead fish here are turning away even tourists who come here every year from Britain.
So we love Vero because it's a quiet little town where we can relax and switch off from the humdrum of our lives.
Kevin Golly and his wife come to Vero Beach every year from the United Kingdom to vacation. A long trip they've made for the last 4 decades.
Not in those 40 years, we've not seen anything.
But this time is a different experience. They still see miles of beautiful beaches. Over the weekend, they even got to spend time in the ocean. But the last 4 days, JC Beach has been littered with dead fish and eels.
Monday, we started to get the tickle in our throats and realise what was going on.
The red tide washed away their beach plans.
Instead, we just stay around the pool, although earlier in the week it was quite difficult to stay out for very long.
And with crews from the city of Vero Beach cleaning up the dead fish daily, they hope to breathe a little easier before they fly home.
Today seems a lot better, so hopefully it's clearing away.
I'm told crews here from the city of Vero Beach will be here every day cleaning up dead fish until the red tide is gone. Reporting from Vero Beach, Kristen Chapman, CBS 12 News.
As the red tide continues to move north along Florida's east coast, a new breakaway bloom is moving through the Keys. Water samples have tested positive for red tide in Key West. County officials say beaches will stay open, but signs are posted warning people of red tide. FWC provides a daily updated interactive map of water samples. To see the latest map released, just head to our website, cbs12.com. It's on the front page.
Well, we're still following Michael's impact, of course, on Florida's panhandle. Right now, the death toll stands at least 30 people, 20 of them right here in our state of Florida. And today, the St. Lucie County Sheriff's Office sending more crews to the panhandle. Residents continuing to slowly return to their homes, or what's left of them. In Mexico Beach, more than 1,000 people still don't have power, and that is more than a week since Hurricane Michael hit. The Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office also in the panhandle, and they discovered 2 lab mixed puppies, but no signs of their owners. Today, PBSO deputies cleaned up the adorable dogs, giving them a bath, and will now take them to Big Dogs Ranch Rescue to be adopted. The female is being named Hurricane, and the male, Michael. We hope they find their owners. Here in South Florida, of course, we know and we understand the pain happening right now in the Panhandle, and it's why CBS 12 News and our parent company, Sinclair Broadcast Group, are proud to partner with the Salvation Army to help our fellow Floridians. So if you'd like to donate to our Hurricane Michael Relief Fund, all you need to do is go to cbs12.com and look for the Donate Now link on our homepage.
Every year, CBS 12 News works with the United Way of Palm Beach County to make sure every family in our area has a warm meal this holiday season. We call it Project Thanksgiving.
And tonight, CBS 12's Kara Duffy shows us the huge impact this collaboration has on our local communities.
We're here at the Soup Kitchen in Boynton Beach, where volunteers prepare and serve hundreds of meals each day. They say meeting the needs around the holidays can be especially difficult, but that programs like Project Thanksgiving help make it all possible. The doors at the Soup Kitchen in Boynton Beach open at 9. And within minutes, the quiet room quickly fills with friendly chatter shared over warm meals.
We are very proud what we do. Everything that we do here is free.
And there's a huge need for it, as hunger is a year-round problem for tens of thousands of people in Palm Beach County alone. But putting food on the table is even harder during the holidays.
We have different groups of people with different needs, and a lot of these people do have jobs. Unfortunately, they don't make enough money to support their own families.
That's why programs like Project Thanksgiving are so crucial. Over the next few weeks, CBS 12 News and the United Way of Palm Beach County encourage communities to donate food or money to help provide families with all the ingredients they need for a holiday meal.
Last year we gave 998 frozen turkey with a bag full of everything that they need.
You can also donate your time.
If they can volunteer, it's fun. It really is, and it makes you feel very good. It's a little hard work, but I mean, I'm an old lady and I manage, so everybody can manage.
Altogether, Project Thanksgiving fed more than 200,000 families last year. To find out how you can host a food drive or make a donation, go to cbs12.com. Reporting in Boynton Beach, I'm Kara Duffy, CBS 12 News.
Next tonight at 6, guns and knives galore. You know, it might look like something you'd find at a military base, but turns out these items and thousands of others all confiscated at airport TSA checkpoints. Next, a close look at what else the TSA found.
Then, unusual request, what the CDC wants anyone with a pet chicken not to do this time of year.
And after a high of 88 degrees today, we've dropped off to 84. When will our high temps come down to that 84? That's coming up.
You're watching CBS 12 News at 6.
New at 6, guns, knives, and flammable material. These are just some of the items the TSA at South Florida airports recovered from travelers trying to get on planes.
CBS 12's Andrea Marvin tonight live in the studio with how the TSA plans to keep you safe as we approach this busy travel holiday season. Andrea.
Across the state of Florida, the TSA says they stopped more than 400 guns at security checks. 23 of those guns came from right here at the Palm Beach International Airport. Now, TSA says what makes this situation so dangerous is most of those guns were loaded. Orlando and Fort Lauderdale airports had the most. And take a look at the other things taken from passengers, including 58 tons of hazardous items that are explosive and flammable.
When you see this, someone might think, well, this is a piece of sports equipment, but why do you need this in your carry-on bag? This could certainly serve as a bludgeon, and that's why it's sitting here on the table.
Now, the TSA wants to get this information out before the busy travel holiday season is here. While it may seem obvious, TSA reminds passengers not to bring banned items. The agency says every year people forget the rules, like liquid limits of nothing more than 3.4 ounces and prohibited items. Now, TSA also reminds passengers that by breaking these rules, you are slowing down lines at checkout. Andrea Marvin, CBS 12 News.
New at 6 tonight, if you or anyone you know owns a pet chicken, you might want to listen to this. The CDC has a very important health warning. Don't dress up your pet chickens for Halloween. Yes, according to the CDC, chicken owners should keep costumes off their feathered friends. Why? Well, because of a salmonella outbreak we've been telling you about happening right now and affecting at least 100 people in 29 states. Authorities are advising against any close contact with live poultry. And they go on to say, don't bring your pet chicken inside to cuddle, even if they look healthy.
Right now, the long national saga of who will become uber rich drags on. There was no winner in Powerball last night, so Saturday's drawing is worth $430 million, a cool $248 million if you take the lump cash sum. Meantime, the Mega Millions jackpot has grown to $970 million for tomorrow night's drawing, the second largest in U.S. history. If you combine the two, that's more than $1.3 billion up for grabs.
I wonder what the odds are for getting $1.3 billion up for grabs.
I'm pretty sure it's pretty slim.
Pretty slim
Pretty
to
slim.
none, right?
Slim to none, yeah.
Maybe I should do a forecast for everyone heading out buying their tickets.
Right, you
Oh,
could.
there you go.
And then ask them, what would you do if you won?
There you go.
Right?
Or your forecast for spending the money, right? Hey, I tell you what, money can't even buy weather this nice, right? We started the day on a very warm note. Paul, you were talking earlier about sizzling summer temperatures. Well, if you start the day with record high overnight lows, and I'll explain that in just a bit, we typically finish up that way. It's not every day that I start off looking at yesterday's temps, but this tells a story here. We have been in record territory several mornings in a row, not because of the coldest overnight low, but rather the hottest overnight low. West Palm Beach tied the record yesterday, set back in 2016. Naples broke the record. Fort Lauderdale broke a record. So the point here is that we're not even cooling down at night. You kind of expect the days to still be kind of warm here as we're heading through October, but we're not feeling that relief at night. We are going to get some relief by way of two cold fronts getting set to swing through. The first one, I have to tell you, is a little bit weak. It's not going to bring us tremendous cool down. Doesn't even look as though it's going to bring South Florida a whole lot of rain. Most of the rain is going to stay to the north, but we are going to pick up some gusting winds pushing in from the east. This is going to move through during the Friday, Saturday time frame. I would expect those wind gusts during the Saturday, Sunday time frame for us. The next cold front right after the first will move in Sunday night through Monday. This is going to drop our temperatures by about 5 to 7 degrees during the day across South Florida. So here's what we're expecting kind of day by day. Saturday, slim chance for rain, just 10%. You won't even really notice anything. A high of 88. By Sunday, 20% chance for rain. So we do double the chance, but still low. 86 degrees for a high. Come Monday, still hanging on to just that 20% chance for rain, but our temperatures drop off. 83 degrees Monday, 84 Tuesday. So both Monday and Tuesday, we will be below average, but primarily because of that increase in cloud cover versus the effects of rain-cooled air. But we still show you the forecast rain here hour by hour. This takes us through Saturday. Saturday, late morning, we see some showers near Jupiter and then just offshore, moving into Fort Pierce, Port St. Lucie by Saturday night down through Lake Worth and Boynton Beach. So we are expecting some spotty rain, but we're not expecting widespread heavy rain, okay? Come tomorrow, 88 degrees for a high. That does put us 3 degrees above average and just that 20% chance for rain. As we head through the next 7 days, again, 10% Friday, Saturday or so, then 20% Sunday, Monday, and then 30% as we head through our Thursday and Friday time frame next week.
Coming up tonight, all new at 11, car tire explosion. Look at that. The 3 things you need to know about filling up your tires so that doesn't happen to you.
Tonight on the CBS Evening News, we are tracking a caravan of Central American migrants as President Trump threatens to shut down the border over their trip. And we are inside Afghanistan for what could be the most dangerous election in the world and the American who's running. Tonight on the CBS Evening News.
CBS 12 News outerwear is provided by Under Armour. Now, the South Florida Honda Sports Report.
There is no volleyball player more experienced at her sport and more confident with her position in our area than Palm Beach Gardens setter Hannah Heidi. She's both the teeth and the heart of the Gators, and she's this week's CBS 12 Athlete of the Week.
When she has that look in her eyes, I just know, hey, Coach, I got this.
And that confidence is partly because Hannah Heidi started as a setter on the volleyball court when she was just 10 years old. She's been absolutely hooked ever since.
I don't make the kills, but I set other people up to make them. And just the feeling of setting someone up to be successful is just amazing.
Her game IQ is much higher. She's able to think on her feet, like critically, what's going to get me the kill.
But her patience and resilience was put to the test last season after partially tearing her ACL in a game, forced to the sidelines.
I started crying more because I couldn't play for, I don't even know how many months. It wasn't because it hurt, it was just I couldn't be with my team. It made it more of a learning process than an injury because I think I've come back from it better than I would have if I didn't have that support system.
And her spirits are higher than ever. On top of her 1,522 career assists, the ultimate team leader.
She's just one of a kind. I don't have words.
You're getting emotional about her.
Yeah, she's just a really special athlete to me and to those that have coached her.
On and off the court, they've been so influential. They're like my second family.
And joining us now in the studio is Hannah Heidi herself. Congratulations.
Thank you. I would like to thank my mom, my dad, and especially Coach Joy. I wouldn't be the player or the person I am today without them.
Well, you're the setter, so why don't you set up the rest of the show here?
Back to you.
Love it. Nice job.
All right, Erin is back with one final check of your weather.
Yeah, we've got those fronts moving through, and we will eventually feel some cooler air, I assure you. By Monday, 83 degrees, 84 on Tuesday. Gives us a reason to look forward to Monday.
Sounds delightful.
I love it.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us tonight. We'll be back for CBS 12 News at 11.
And remember, the news is always on CBS12.com. The CBS Evening News with Jeff Lohr is next. We hope to see you right back here tonight for CBS 12 News at 11.